Hello everybody, this is Scott. Today I want to show you some image surgery techniques in Photoshop. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remove this white top of the structure here. Say for whatever reason that was what you had to do. I'm going to take the pen tool. Now the first concern that I have is I want to separate this black area here from this white area here because I don't want to remove any of this. If I were to go in here and just take the clone stamp tool and just select this and try to paint this out, you see what's going to happen is I'm going to get both sides at the same time, and I don't want that. So with a pen tool with a path selected, I'm going to just click here and here and here, and then I'm just going to go outside. And I have this thing ready to go. I'm just going to go over to the Paths tab here, and I'm going to control click on the work path to select that selection. So the selection is active. I'm going to get this layer open here. And now I'm going to hit S to bring up my clone stamp tool. And if you don't know how to use that, let's hold Alt, and we're going to sample this area right here. And then when we paint into this area, it's going to take all this information from this part of the image and it's going to paint it onto this part of the image. And since we have the selection here, it's going to lock it into this area so it won't go outside of it. As you can see here, I'm taking this part and I'm painting it into this part right here. And I have it set to a 40% opacity. All right, make sure I get this area real good. And I'm going to select it again. If you have to, select it again. Because sometimes what will happen is you'll select something like right here, and you'll be painting, and whoa, all of a sudden it goes too far and it goes over there. You don't want that. Now I'm going to Control D this, and you see we do have some dark areas here because of this darker part of the cloud here. So I'm just going to, again, I'm just going to select this area, hold Alt, and just tap here, and just start brushing over this. And again, this is going to work because the opacity is not 100%. Just tapping, brushing away, just smoothing it out. And there we go. Now here in the second image, what if someone told you that let's remove this pen here? That's actually pretty easy. Let's take the lasso tool. I'm just going to hit L, bring out the lasso tool, and I'm just going to select around here. I'm holding Alt to make click points for the polygonal lasso tool. Click, 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 and just let go. And now if you don't know, you can just right click and go down and say Content Aware Fill. And what you see here is this green area is the area that it's going to sample from. And when we say OK, it's going to take area from the sample area and paste it into this. And you see we can drag the opacity down to see what we're doing. But I'm just going to hit OK, and there you go. And one thing to be aware is it does create another layer, so I'm going to hit Control E to merge that down. Because now I'm just going to hit the J key, and I'm going to bring up my patch tool. If it doesn't do it right away, you've got the spot healing brush and the regular healing brush here as well. Content Aware Move tool, red eye tool, patch tool. There's so many different ways you can do this. And I'm going to just make that selection, and I'm going to click and drag over and just drop it there, and it cleaned it all up just like that. Cool. Now on this last image here, let's just say you're doing some work for a client and the client tells you, this is fine, but could you just remove the logo here and this number here? Be like, okay. Once again, let's just hit L for the lasso tool, and let's just select this area and right click, Content Aware Fill. Now the first thing again to make sure you notice is that it did create a new layer. So let's Control E to bring that down. Now let's do the same thing again. Go over here, select this with the lasso tool. Again, if you don't know, I'm just holding Alt and it kind of turns the lasso tool into a polygonal lasso tool. Right click, content aware fill. Now it's giving you this preview. It's showing it's not going to be perfect. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to hit OK. And again, I'm going to hit Control E to merge that down. And with that selection still there, I want to clean that up. So I'm going to hit S, go over to the clone stamp tool, and I'm going to, let's say I'm going to Alt tap there, and I'm going to paint that area in. And you see what happened there is I kind of went down too far. So what you have to do there is you have to just redo your targeting area and just Alt tap there again. And just don't move too far. And just keep doing that as many times as you have to. Just, whoa, Control Z that. This is kind of trial and error. And there you go. It's not perfect. Maybe just clean that up a bit more. And that's good. And here's a bonus tip. What if I wanted to get rid of this rose as well? You know what, that looks like a little bit more of a challenge. The first thing I'm thinking is, what about this line here? I'm literally just going to, first of all, double click, create a new layer. I'm going to just drag a marquee selection here. And with this layer selected, I'm going to hit Control J, new layer via copy. And I'm just going to bring this over here and just line it up best as I can. I'm going to Alt drag it and create another layer. Line that up best as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back down to the original layer, and I'm going to do that again. Back, let's draw it out a little bit further here. Control J, and I'm just going to drag this down. Move it with the arrow keys. And you say this is a little bit more difficult because there's a shadow here. But if this leaf wasn't there, that shadow wouldn't be there at all, would it? So let's go ahead and just Alt drag a couple times, and let's just get rid of that. Here, I'm just gonna Alt drag or drag out a marquee. Again, go back down to the original layer, Control J, and move this over. Now with all that done, let's take all these layers, Control E to merge them all down. In fact, let's merge it down to the original. Now the first thing I want to do is I just want to clean up this area inside. So I'm going to take the pen tool, again, have path selected, and I'm going to simply tap on here, and then anywhere over here will be fine. Go over to paths, control click the path, so you're selecting that area, have lasso selected, right click, content aware fill. And you see that's not going to work, right? Because again, you got to be mindful of what it's filling with. So let's go out of here and let's deselect. I'm going to marquee tool this. I'm going to hold Alt to deselect here. Okay. Now let's try that again. Right click, and again, if you don't see this, have a selection tool selected like the marquee or the lasso tool. When you right click, content aware fill, and it's a little bit better, but not entirely. So let's go with this brush, and let's tell it no, don't fill with this. We're gonna paint away this area here and say no, only fill with this area here. And yeah, there we go. Now it knows what it's doing. So you just kind of had to tell it what to do. Now it's a little imperfect here. Let's Control E to bring this down. And I think this would be, I'll just take the marquee tool, Control J, bring that over, maybe hit E and just erase that with a soft eraser and just fade that in. Control E, bring that down. And there you go. Now let's do the same thing again here. I'm just going to take the lasso tool, select around this rose, hold Alt, move this over here, get some, and again, I'm still holding Alt. So now if I want to hold Alt and put the stylus down, or mouse if you're using that, then it becomes a regular lasso tool, where you can let go of the stylus and just start clicking. And let's just get this whole thing selected. Right click, content aware fill. And again, we don't want it to fill with this black area here. So with this brush, and it's set to minus, so we're taking away the area that it's going to take from. This is the sample area. You want to remove this sample area here. And just make Photoshop a little bit smarter. Letting it know. And you can see here, this is already updating. I'm going to hit OK. And Control E to bring that down. And now this is just a matter of, let's just clean this up a bit. This looks way better over here. Heck, why don't we just take this, Control J, move this over. And really, I'm just gonna Control T and I'm just gonna transform this, and I'm just gonna bring this over here. And here, I'm just gonna Control E, merge that down. I'm just gonna hit S, clone stamp tool. And now I'm just gonna work on, all we gotta do is just clean this up, right? Alt here, just bring this over. Again, let's select this area. If you have to, just select an area just to control where the clone stamp is going to work. And again, this is going to work because I have the clone stamp brush is set to a soft brush. The softness is on 0 and the opacity is something low. It doesn't have to be 40. I have it on 40. And then here, you see how simple this can be. I'm just gonna, there's another way you can do it, is just select this area here that you don't want to mess with and just hit Control Shift I, or select inverse. So now everything other than this area is selected. And now I can clone stamp this out. Again, just be careful about the area you're hitting. There you go. And there you go. Now I'm not sure why we would want to do remove all that, but for the sake of the tutorial, there you go. We removed it. So that's all I have for you today. If this video was helpful for you at all, I hope it was. Please let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate that feedback. Consider subscribing to the channel, and otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.